Good evening. Good evening. Hi, Anna. Hello. Hi. So, some people that check in every day. Hey, Jessica. I have people who check in often. And hi, Charles. Jessica. I keep saying, but so people who check in often. I speak to some of you, but most not, right? So, I want to share something that was heavy on my heart, and I thought was important for perspective for those of us who are suffering, who get anxiety, who watch the news, and we feel like we have to react. Most of it doesn't affect us too much, so we should try to be at ease. I mean, the idea is equanimity of mind, is what the yogis speak of, equanimity of mind. And so we don't get ourselves all wrapped up in a ball over every news item that comes on. So I'm watching the insurgents. There's all these stories, news stories being generated about the insurgents and about what we should do. We can't do shit. Black people have been the victim of police brutality for 400 years. So if the police are fighting terrorists and they're white terrorists fighting white police, that's white people's problems. And I'm not saying it in a racist way. Of course, as black Americans, we participate in whatever the choices are that our politicians make. But how we censor the president doesn't mean much to us. And the reason I say that to you is because we have an agenda. And we had an agenda 8 years ago or 12 years ago, and we didn't get a lot of it done. Today, if we have a focus, and it's governmental, it should be equal high-quality health care. It should be equal high-quality education. It should be women's rights. It should be raising the minimum wage. It should be fixing the tax code that so underserved community members get taken care of. It should be defunding, redistributing some police funds so we have programs in our community that will help us to stop violence and will help us to promote mental health so that then the police or the law enforcement will be more effective. It should be the police reform bill, which has been introduced into Congress. We have an agenda. We can't worry about whether they impeach or what. Do we want to go into a long period of impeachment where that's all they talk about? Or do we want to get our agenda done while we have the Senate, the Congress, and the President? Those people ain't going to do shit for you, your own government, unless you make them. And if they go off on a tangent, then that's not supportive of what we need. We can't depend on the next administration. We have one now coming into office, and we voted them in because we wanted the minimum wage raised. We wanted education to be fair and just and equal high quality. We wanted health care to be fair, and we got proof that our health care ain't shit. We have proof that we're suffering in so many areas, and we have had this proof. We have proof of police brutality, and we have a police reform bill, although some of the important provisions are hidden, they're there. We want to get prosecutors to prosecute bad police. And if we can change that, make that one systematic change, then we can. And that bill is there. It was introduced by Madam Vice President and Cory Booker. And it was produced and promoted by the Black Congress, and Congresswoman Bass put it into works. But our Congress is afraid of the police union. So the only way we're going to beat the police union is if the people push. We have to focus our energy on the good we can do now that we're in office. And as far as the breach of the Congress, that is a very scary thing to some. But to us, they've been breaching us for 400 years. So it's now time for us to do our job, pushing those people that we put in office to do the work that we need done. So that's it. It's a very, and reparations. Yes, thank you. So I want to open the floor up a little bit. But yes, of course we want to talk about repairing the past. It doesn't have to be equal high quality education and equal high quality health care. That repairs the past some, but maybe there are support systems since they redlined black districts and didn't loan us money. Maybe there are support systems since black people have been suffering under the hands of a white supremacist government for 400 years. Maybe there's some things we can do that are And I'm not going to write the bill for reparations. I simply know that there are things we can do to empower our communities and put extra resources in our communities to get us out of the predicament that white America has put us in. So I think that all the people who marched with you, all of the conscious white people who saw and were amazed, although we were not amazed, at the way the police treated those terrorists versus the way they treated the Black Lives Matter people. White people are shocked by that. I saw CNN, they went crazy over that. CNN went insane. They couldn't believe that these white people, privileged people, were able to breach the Pentagon, but yet we couldn't even get on the steps. We couldn't even get close. This is what we have to let them deal with. Our focus has to be, and I'm not saying we shouldn't speak about it, but our focus has to be the agenda that we have, that we promised ourselves we were going to get done. The reason we went to vote, the reason we flipped Georgia, the reason we put a Biden in office. Maybe he can do, sometimes black people can't do what white people can do. Like Obama obviously couldn't do what Trump did. He'd have been impeached a long time ago. But Biden, maybe Biden can really promote the kind of inclusivity that women have been praying for and that our world needs in order to go forward. The future has to be more inclusive, more brown, more collaborative, but more brown, more conscious, and more feminine. Our feminine natures of thoughtfulness, compassion, measured choices have to be made so that in the way that they were made with Corona, with all of the feminine leadership, as not only women, but this divine feminine quality that's been blocked out of government. Angry, mean white men, toxic masculinity should not be our leadership. We have now a thoughtful, by all indications, fairly sweet man and a wonderful woman in office. They can look to compassionate policies. We certainly have to stop the factory farming industry and the global warming. Factory farming industry is the #1 reason for global warming. We have to stop those things. So we have so much on our agenda. I don't want to spend more time on Trump. I don't want black. We are wasting our time. Our time should be used pushing these congressmen and senators to introduce bills that will make a huge difference in our lives. So that's what matters to me. I'm going to take a few questions and I'm going to go to class. Can we take some questions? How you guys doing this morning? Hey, Jessica. I keep saying it because your name keeps popping up. Trump, yes, a waste. Charles X. Let's get Charles. Let's get Adrian. Let me hear what he has to say. And then we get Charles.
Energy. It is shocking that they were able to get in there, but what white people have been able to do to black Americans, to other people around the world is enough proof that we can expect these kind of things, but we can change them through this government that we have today. What's up?
Hey,
Adrian?
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you,
Happy
man.
New Year to you, bro.
How you guys doing, man?
We're doing well. Brother
Good.
Gary is still in Jamaica. He's not back.
Oh, wow. Salute to the collective. Surely, man, it has been a challenge, man. When you think about this insurrection, Uncle Russ, and you think about all the work that has happened in civil rights, when you think about folks like me who spent time in prison, it's a slap in the face. It's not our fight, I know, and I agree with you. I concur, that we need to just hold the line and push while we can, while we got the Senate and the House. But it's just so, it's so upsetting. But I sent you.
It's a reminder.
Mm-hmm.
But white people never seen it. We've been abused by police. We've been compromised. We've been redlined. We've been all these things that they had blinders on, and even people who claim to be good. The reason the black Muslim said the white man was the devil, because they turned their heads, not always intentionally, but they turned their heads. So now seeing these white people run up in the Capitol and treat their police the way they treated them and do what they did and disrespect the flag and disrespect them. Now, seeing that, maybe we'll have them, I see CNN, they're going crazy. Let them all work on that. Let us continue to push forward. That's just my message today that God whispered in my ear to say. It's just me saying to, you know, when I put it up, I don't know, a few thousand people will see it, but it's a message that I think is very important, that we have to move forward. We have now, we cannot afford, you know, President Obama, God bless him, spent a lot of time on health care, but nothing on prison reform.
That's
he
important.
spent a lot of time on, he made a pact with France, the Paris Accord, but what did we really do about new forms of energy? What did we really do about the suffering of black people? And did we even discuss reparations? Did we even discuss the things that black people need and poor people and underserved community members need from our government? Not as much as we might have. And now we have a new administration. You know, when Republicans got in office, they did every fucking thing they wanted. They put in 200 judges. They went, and so did George Bush. There was no friendly shit. And Joe Biden can say it as nicely as possible. I believe that his agenda is one that is uplifting to the collective. That it's not, and it should not be polarizing, but it is, but polarizing to say we want to give equal high quality education to people in communities, and that we want to give, that we want to protect, for instance, I don't know if the Democrats would never tell the FDA to stop promoting foods that promote cancer. Class A carcinogens should not be on the site of the American Cancer Institute.
And they need to tell the truth.
The causes of diabetes, that's because they're paid and they're partners with the factory farming industry. There is so much wrong with our government and so much, and his cabinet, I know, I see it. There are so many people who will allow it to continue, but we have to push them to do what they say.
That's right.
That's it. We want to get back out in the street. Don't get back out in the street about Trump. Don't waste our energy on Trump. All of our memes when we're communicating to each other should be about, now we can pass the police reform bill. Now we can get prosecutors, because we can't march every time somebody gets shot. We need to have a prosecutor in place waiting to prosecute the minute that we find police bad behavior. We need that. And that's a law. That's systematic change.
And police immunity. You talked about that. You talk about that all the time. Police immunity. And I think, you know, if you put that kind of pressure on a police's partner to you know, they say the blue wall, you know, you got to protect your life. But let me tell you, you inspired me. I'm doing a series called Hip Hop Perspective Series 1. I would love to have you on it. I want to use hip hop to change policy, to find ways to connect with these young people. No different, similar to the Hip Hop Caucus, but I think it's needed. It's dope. It can lend to some other stuff, but bottom line is, for now, you know, just do some small series to get some folks on board to talk about some new.
You have, Adrian, you have my number.
No.
You know how to get in touch with me?
No, I don't.
We'll figure that out offline. DM me. We'll figure it out. But listen, I want to thank you for your opinion. I got to move on because I only can take a few questions, and I keep seeing people pop up I got to talk to. Brother, Happy New Year to you, and thank you for.
Eat to live. I can't wait to get it.
I was just talking about, but not on this thing. We have to protect. If there's 2,000 contaminants in Asia, we're going to give you a cookbook for free when you pre-order. And we're going to start doing that right away because the publishers pushed it back a little bit, which is good because they really want to lay it out in the front of bookstores. So they bought it because they wanted my life story. They didn't really care.
Dope.
And so now they're aggressively, they see that it's an important book for now, and they're gonna push it a lot harder. So it's okay. But what I'm gonna do is for all the people who pre-order, I'm gonna send them a cookbook called Soul Vegan from Around the World, and it's really amazing. It'll get anybody who's not vegan who cooks at home a whole bunch of good recipes that'll be better than the stuff they've been eating. Not only healthier, but taste better.
I'm on it, man. I can't wait. I want to look like you when I just turned 50. I want to look like you when I'm 63, man. Good God, man.
Well, God bless you, Adrian. Thank you for that. Thank you. Let's go. Let's move on. Thank you, Adrian.
Salute, salute.
What is he saying? What are we saying? We got to go, we have to focus on the things that really matter to us. And we don't want the, okay, you can get Charles. He's right there at the top. Yeah. Get the people who I used to speak to all the time. Yeah, you pre-order the book. I'm going to set up, you won't get the cookbook right away, but people will going forward. We're working on right now putting up a great cookbook with a lot of recipes that are cost effective for those who are struggling or those who can't. Everybody's struggling. We all struggling. But it's cheaper or as cheap as the animal product you've been eating, except it tastes better and it's healthier. It will save you all the doctor bills, right? And you're taking all the medicine that's causing you, and the food that's causing you pre-existing health conditions that cost you your life. So we may have to pay a little more for food, but maybe not. But certainly this book will be helpful. I'm going to give it away if you pre-order Eat to Live. What's up, Charles X?
Yo, what's going on, Brother Russell? How are you?
I'm all right.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year to you.
Hey, bro, did you get that video of the landlord coming into my apartment when I was in meditation?
No, I didn't get that. But, brother, let's talk about the subject. Because you're being evicted.
Well, he was shorting me on the rent. And so, I was taking him to court. And rather than, him go to court, he tried to, move somebody into my apartment while I was living here. So, I need to find a lawyer.
Talk about this offline. What I want to talk about today, listen, what I want to talk about today is how we react to this moment that we're in. This moment that we're in is pivotal. We have the opportunity, and we have people who have expressed interest in doing the things that we claim we need. We need to push them because they ain't going to do shit unless we push them. Well, you remember, I'm going to give you a quick story, which goes back to the subject that I want to talk about. When Al Gore was the biggest environmentalist in the country, he was selected to be the vice president. When he became the vice president, he said nothing about the environment the entire 8 years. He came out of office and made these great movies and promoted the struggle, and he promoted the threat of environmental change to everyone. And he became a hero and won a bunch of awards. But when he was vice president, he did nothing. And our Madam First Lady has made statements that eating meat, quote unquote, eating meat is the #1 cause of destruction of our planet. That's what she said. She hasn't said a word about this since before she ran for vice president. But she said it multiple times. Even though she's a meat eater, many of us are, but we have to recognize the steak we eat is the #1 cause of global warming. So if we know that, and we know that the planet is being destroyed, and our next COVID catastrophe could come from Mother Earth, she could try to shake us off with how much we're fucking the planet up. So we need people to get back to the Paris Accord. We need people to talk to the factory farming industry. We need government that's responsible to the people and the well-being of the people. And they will not be unless we focus on that. So while we're focusing on this insurgent, we are walking away from our commitment to Black Lives Matter. We are walking away from our commitment, and there are things that must be done for systematic change, including the police reform bill. When we say Black Lives Matter, there's a bill. That bill has to be passed in its entirety. So there's work to do. And the work that we have to do about the minimum wage, about the health care, about the education, about the opportunity, about the loans in our Black community that may come from a form of reparation, about all of the things that they've talked about. We need that work done. We don't need to be distracted.
We got to get off of defense. See, the thing is, in history, Black people have a history of playing defense and reacting to situations when we could be on the offense. And,
well, let me say this then about the defense. Of course, when they're hanging you, but when white people are fighting white police, and it's an insurgent, and most white Americans are outraged, we can say, look at the disparity between the way they treated Black Lives Matter and the way they treat the Trump supporters. We can say it, but we have to focus our attention on the changes that we can make to make a better opportunity for our children and not pass on the horrific policies that have really hurt Black people over the last 8 years and throughout the American history. So,
The
Charles,
only
you
way,
look good, man. Let's
thank
go.
you, you too. The only way they're going
Thank
to pay attention to us is if we get on the offense, though.
We got to. Well, we were on the offense. We were on the offense when we marched for Black Lives Matter, and we had a lot of sympathy. And
That's sort of defense. That's defense.
Well,
Offense is like what I'm doing right now with like suing my landlord. That's
yes.
like,
Well, yes, we can do that too. You're right.
Black lives,
you're 100%
they gotta
right.
matter. Black lives only matter when we die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love you, bro.
Thank
I know you want to rush me off this.
Thank you.
I'll chat with you later, all right? All right. Love you, bro. Peace.
Yeah. Our black leaders should speak up. That's right. Okay. I don't know. Go down. Let's get the poet on there. I know she doesn't. I don't know what she wants to say. Jessica, first one right there. Send an invite to her. Yeah, Jessica, I hope you want to get on. So the message today, I just wanted to have this message go out. We must focus on our agenda. We cannot be distracted.
I was not planning on coming on. Let me get in some light. Hold on.
I know you weren't.
No.
Hello. By the way, for those who are watching, this is an amazing poet. She's on Deaf Poetry, where we did the charity event for, and she's been a supporter of Deaf Poetry. And look at you. How are you, darling?
I'm good. It's been deep, you know. It's deep. I love everything that you're saying, though. It's so true that we have to absolutely let them fight those police. Yeah, I'm staying out of the way of all of it. It's not even our fight, you know. And I understand why people. I even wrote a poem, Insurrection 21, about what it felt like as a Black mother to watch.
You don't remember it, do you?
No, but I got it. Come on,
read it.
I got it. I'll read it. Yeah, I mean, listen, because I had to talk to Black, you know, I got to talk to Black women. When I see that I have a 14-year-old son, my son King is 14, I got to say how that felt to watch that and know that if that was my son or any of my people, we would be dead. And so it's a short poem. I'm going to find it because I posted it. And women have been sharing the piece. And I appreciate you. I would have been on time.
Oh, I appreciate you so much.
Yeah. And, you know,
thank you for what you do. For your poetry that inspires people. It's really, you know, look, people think that the size of their impact on the planet is so important. The planet's way too big for you.
Come on.
Maybe unless you Bill Gates. It's your intention. It's the prayer that you put out into the universe that's way more important. God favors the person administering the drugs than the person who funded the entire drug company. If someone's in the forest giving vaccines or whatever it is, I know people are anti-vax, but I know they needed them 100 years ago. If not for the vac, we wouldn't be here. So
that's right.
So you gotta, you know, each vac is different. I mean, I don't take the flu vaccine. But I have a lot of Black women who've already taken it.
So, you know, I don't eat animals, so people don't eat animals.
Me either.
I have to take my son don't take it either, but my son's been vegetarian for 14 years. We don't get sick, you know, and so we don't need certain things. Some people, they eating all that McDonald's and stuff, they might need the vaccine, you know, but.
That's what I say. I agree with you 100%. People who have these diets, first of all, everyone is dying because of their diet. Their pre-existing health conditions are created by the food, whether it be diabetes, which is not sugar but meat, whether it be fat. Fat is drawn to meat more than all the other things they're blaming, whether it be heart disease, whether it be hypertension, whether it be all of the pre-existing health conditions that COVID is attacking are diet related. And so we have to have a post-pandemic lifestyle that excludes diet. I mean, animal products from our diet. It's just that simple.
I mean, the kitchens have to be where we heal ourselves. You know, all these people talking about all these vitamins. I was like, y'all just got into vitamins? You know, y'all wasn't already, y'all ain't got black seed oil in your kitchen. Like, you ain't got no vitamin C. And, you know, so that's the problem in our community in particular, is that the education for good health, you know.
They don't want you to be educated. You know that the government's underwriting these factory farms that are poisoning the environment and giving you cancer. And even the Cancer Society, when you look on their website, they promote the very food that gave you cancer.
Absolutely.
The Diabetes Association has the very food on it.
Come on.
That gives you diabetes. What is wrong with, I mean, it's like the food group thing that sat and lived for so long knowing that dairy was the devil. All of this stuff the American government has, the sandwiches that they put on TV are listed as Class A carcinogens on their own website because they could not get away from that research. It's just too crystal clear.
That's right.
So all of this processed meat is like cigarettes. A scrambled egg is like cigarettes. So these animal products are poisoning us and killing us, and the American government is pushing them on our children.
Yeah. And it doesn't belong to white folks. Like, we get this idea that eating healthy is bougie, right? Eating organic is, and because, you know, you talk about price, people always say it's expensive to be vegetarian. I said, no, broccoli don't cost more than a steak. You can't convince me that it costs more to eat steak. And because my friends eat good. They're not eating that. They eat lobster. They eating steak. You know, they eating good people, good meat eating food. And so that's some stereotypical strangeness. I was like, I go to the farmer's market, I get so much food for like $30, you know, with produce like crazy. So it's, you know, but we have to say that, like, healthy food, gardening belongs to Black folks, Southern Black people. We know how to grow tomatoes. That's not a white people thing. They think urban gardening belongs to white folks too. It don't. That's us. You know,
we are 3 times more likely to go vegan. So we have a disconnect in our community where people are moving towards a vegan diet, but they're not really. But many people in our community keep saying it's for white people. You're right. But as slaves, many of us were brought over here, and we did our what do you call it? We did our hunger strikes for many reasons. One of the reasons we did hunger strikes because we wouldn't eat any animals.
Right.
We said, "Where's the okra and corn we eat?" They literally was like, "We're not eating none of this flesh. We don't eat flesh. God didn't want us." They're religious. God did not let us eat flesh. We're not eating dead animals. A lot of Black people felt that way. So that's our reality. And the Irish came over here. They were like, corned beef and cabbage. They never heard of corned beef and cabbage. They just eat cabbage. Rich people were left to eat meat and get sick earlier and die younger, even though they had soft lives.
That's right.
You know, rich people generally live longer, but now they had this diet, rich people, that poor people aspired to have, and it started to kill them too. Curried kale, I love that. So we need to get our people to, I just saw it pop up. I
love it.
But there's so many cool things we can do. It's nuts. And we could create, so I'm going to put this book, Soul Vegetarian from Around the World, out.
Nice.
And I'm going to give that to people for free when they order Eat to Live. Eat to Live has been pushed back to the end of February because the publisher, or the middle of March, because the publisher finally woke up and realized it was one of the top publishers in the world. And they like, give me that book. We'll take it, because they really wanted my life story. But they got this book, and then they read it to do the proofreading. And they said, this is the most important book. And so now they wanted to lay it out properly, which is, I guess, is good. And we certainly are going to need it going all through next year and in general. But right now, I'm going to give away for free, digitally, I'm
about to pre-order mine because I'm with the cookbook.
People want that more, too, some people are saying. I'm giving that away free for those who pre-order this book. Okay, Jessica, spit that poem.
Yep.
Ready, that's what I want.
Yeah. To my mothers and fathers of Black sons and daughters, wondering how quickly our babies would have been murdered. Our teens or young adult men, if they were caught crawling up the Capitol walls or breaking out the windows of the West Wing in D.C., how much sniper fire would have lit up their brown bodies? How many would consider them patriots? How many hours would they have been left to bleed out on the House floor? How long before they were deemed terrorists? I'm holding your screams in the pit of my throat. I'm swallowing leftover tear gas and American hypocrisy as it eats away at itself on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm thinking of all of you brokenhearted and full of fire, made to feel as if your Black body is never human enough, never free enough to be treated with any real dignity. After all, crimes against sovereign Black bodies was the first act of treason against American life. So, yeah.
I'm going to open this podcast up with it because I'm going to chop it up, and that's going to be the poem when I open the thing up.
I can send you the audio too. I got it. I got the audio. I can send it to you. All that good
Send me the audio.
I have a good, clean audio.
Could you make sure you get the audio? How do I get the audio? You send it to me on what? On DM or something?
I can DM it to you on Instagram.
You have my text message. You have my number.
I do have your number. I can send it to you.
Okay, so send it to me.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to class. I want to just repeat, and we, I guess, agree on this last message. The insurgents is not our problem. It breaks our heart to see it because we know the disparity.
Yeah.
It breaks our heart. But white people fighting white people, and it's not a racial thing when I say this, because white privilege is the only thing that can change the mindset of those law enforcement that allowed it to happen, and those law enforcement who traveled from their city to join in, and those people who are growing in number who hate us.
That's right.
We can't spend time on the people who hate us. We have to learn to love ourselves. We have to push forward our agenda.
Yes.
We have an agenda. And that agenda is very, very crystal clear to anyone who's worked hard on this election. We want to get our people out of suffering and out of poverty. We want policies, and we want the police to stop beating us. That systematic change.
Yes.
There are bills that are not on the floor yet that need to be introduced, that have been promoted to us, that we have voted for. We're waiting for them to hit the floor. We're waiting to push our congressmen and senators to vote for these bills. We don't want these bills whitewashed. For instance, when I talk about the police reform bill, I'm very, very concerned that they barely talk about prosecutors. The only thing that's going to help us is prosecutors.
That's right.
And the prosecutors, so long as they're under the control of the local police union, as long as they're under control of the local politics, they will never do our bidding. They will never, you know, if a prosecutor has you arrested and indicted, he gets a feather in his cap. But if he does a policeman, he gets demonized and may lose his job in the next election. We need to have them free from those politics, those shackles, so they can do their job for us. We can't march every time somebody gets shot, so they shoot a black person every other day.
Come on.
And half of them we don't hear about.
Listen.
So, sister, thank you so much.
I love you.
I love you. You look great. You don't look like your age.
Well, this is my 50 year.
Oh, you're 50.
I'm turning 50 this year. I can't believe I'm turning 50. I don't feel it, but that's because I eat right and I take care of myself. I exercise.
Well, you look gorgeous. Thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate you. Okay. Thank you for having me.
Okay, let me wrap this up. I got to go to class. What I wanted today to talk about this insurrection, and I wanted to share my opinion on it. I know some people care, others don't. But those who care, no, they'll take it off. It's closed. Thank you so much. Let me go back. I didn't say. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening. And remember, we have an agenda. Let's serve our agenda. Let's not get distracted. Yes, the exposure of white supremacy and white privilege that happened the other day was nothing new to us. We didn't think they were going to shoot those white people. White people were surprised when they realized they could just walk into that building. That's not us. We have a history of watching white supremacy at work. What we need to do now is improve the condition of the underserved communities, including our black community in this country. So that's our job, and we must push our politicians and our elected officials to do that going into this new administration. Thank you. Okay.